those of you who don't know me, I am the oldest daughter of Katherine Colon. I'm accompanied by my beautiful family, my sister, my cousin, my other cousin, but they're all siblings, right? My brothers are a little shy, but I'm waiting for them to come too. Anyway, I would say good afternoon, but it doesn't feel like such a good afternoon. Oh, before I start my speech, all right, I'm gonna go through the list of speakers, so I'll start us off, and then my sister will speak, as well as Samira with any family quotes, Alicia Strong from New Britain Racial Justice, Lily Mercado, community organizer, who's gonna talk about the report, Jasmine Melendez, Justice for Jason, and she'll talk about police violence and Justice for Jason Negro. Dare to Struggle, and they'll talk about New Britain police abusing their power, as usual. So like I said, I would say good afternoon, but it doesn't feel like a good afternoon after a whole year with no justice. As someone who always stands up for injustice, it just hits so different for me when it was my own mother. You know, people have a lot to say about how I handle things, or how, like, what happened in the last year in this report, but it doesn't change what we knew from the day it happened, right? And that is that Connor Reinsch was speeding. Only now we know that he was speeding without his lights and sirens on. Or not that we know, it's confirmed that he was speeding without his lights and sirens on. Is it really worth speeding 30 miles over the speed limit for us to lose our mother for the rest of our lives? My mother, Katherine Colon, would still be alive if it wasn't for the actions that officer took that night. And people want to victim blame when in reality, it's not against the law to walk across the street, right? Shame. Police in the system in general always want to blame victims instead of hold their employees accountable. Mind you, we're the tax-paying citizens paying these bigoted salaries. And it's honestly so frustrating and draining to have to sit here and explain what Justice for Katherine is, or what does Justice for Katherine look like. Hold the damn officer accountable for his actions. Right? He's a public servant sworn into, quote unquote, protect our rights and law, yet he can't even follow the damn law himself. Shameful. Our mayor and police chief have the ability to fire this officer, yet they continue to uphold and justify police killing of our beloved citizens throughout our city. This is not the first person who was killed by New Britain police, and it will not be the last, unfortunately. So we do need to continue to fight and stand together. So I'll hand it off to my sister. I'll chat with y'all again. So yeah, give it up to my little sister, Denia Sawyer. Hold on, y'all. I just want to, before I start, I do want to say thank you to all of you for coming out and supporting me and my family. I appreciate I love the familiar faces, and I feel like I really gained another family through you guys, so I really appreciate you guys, and I love you all. Yes! Okay, 365 days ago, our lives were forever changed. I lost the woman that I had the privilege to call my mother. There will never be enough words to explain how we feel every day. Her absence is something I carry with me literally every day. I wear her name on me forever to, forever have her in my heart. What hurts the most is the injustice. A year has passed and still there's no justice for my mother. Too often these people want to defend the police when they kill, failing to hold them accountable and perpetuating the cycle of victimhood. Justice should never have to be a fight. It's a right owed to everyone, regardless of your age, regardless of your race, regardless of your background. We shouldn't have to be out here right now demanding a change. Yet here we are stuck in the same cycle, the same broken system, the same disregard for human life. Bro, come on, we want justice, we demand
be fired and decertified. He shouldn't be able to walk around free without any consequences after taking my mother's life.
Right.
If it was anyone else like me or any of you here, we would have been in jail by now for 365 days. But because he wears a badge, we're left here waiting and fighting for the same accountability that should have been there from day one. No family should ever have to demand justice for their loved ones. No family should have to stand here fighting to be heard. But I will never stop fighting for my mother. The fight isn't over. We fight today, we'll fight tomorrow, and we'll fight until justice is served for Katherine Colon. This is bigger than just this case. It's about every life that's been taken, every family that's torn apart. And every time the system fails to do what is right. And Mom, I love you, I miss you, and I'm so proud to be your daughter. And now I'm gonna hand it to my beautiful cousin and like sister, Tamara Lopez.
Okay guys. I'm a little unprepared because I wasn't told anything. But, okay. So, hi guys, thank you guys for coming on this very, very sad day. It's been a year since my aunt was killed. Shameful. But, okay.
We're here with you. Hey, we got you. You got this. You got this.
Thank you guys for the patience.
Thank you to everybody who is here today. I'm up here speaking because I'm somebody who grew up in this city. I'm somebody who has continuously seen the New Britain police trample on the rights of people, and right now I'm upset. I'm upset because we've been to the city council more than one time. We know for a fact that the chief of police has the power to fire him. We know for a fact that Erin Stewart appoints the chief of police. So they have the power, and they're choosing not just to not do anything, but to be silent. That is shameful. So I came out here today to really impress upon us that there are people in power who are choosing to keep the status quo. They're choosing to create a society where the police can kill people and nothing happens. We all know that if we hit somebody, even by accident, we would be arrested and charged for manslaughter, and many of us would go to prison. Yet when a police officer does it, it's okay. Not only does he not get arrested, but he gets to keep his job. It is unacceptable. So I'm calling on everyone here, especially people who are here from New Britain. When you're going to the little city fairs and city events, if you see the chief of police there smiling for pictures, if you see Mayor Stewart there smiling for pictures, make sure you stand up and call them out. When are you gonna do the right thing? When is it gonna be more than just cute pictures? It's about lives. That could be anybody's parent. So it's time for them to stand up, stop hiding behind the police, and start to take accountability. Thank you.
All right, our next speaker is Jazz Marie Melendez from Justice for Jason. And City Council woman.
Hi everybody. So I have been in the same spot before once when we were standing with Zoe Didel's family, calling for justice for his family, and still we have not seen justice for his life. The people who were in the car with him, the other youth, let me say youth because there were children at the time that this happened, after they witnessed their friend get executed, that's what it was an execution that they did on Zoe. His friends are still currently incarcerated right now in Connecticut as a direct response. And that is what they do. That is what they do time and time again. My brother's name is Jason Negron. In 2017, he was killed by a Bridgeport police officer. That officer was cleared by the same state's attorney that cleared this officer. This interconnecting system in Connecticut is real. We are one big family that's calling for justice when it comes to accountability. And the common denominator that we all have, whether we see a charge get brought, whether you're doing, literally, Katherine did nothing. Okay, when people want to say, oh, somebody must have did something for a cop to do something. No. She did absolutely nothing. She crossed the street, which is what we do every single day. She crossed the street. And there was, and that officer was cleared. And then when we go down the list, right, of all the other ways that they justify different things, case by case, every time, with a body cam, without a body cam, with cameras, without a camera, they got a reason every single time. That state's attorney every single time clears those officers. There has not been one officer, since before I was born, since probably before you were born, that has been held accountable. But the rate of people who are incarcerated in Connecticut, let's talk about that comparison for misdemeanor crimes, for being homeless, for dealing with addiction. It's not the same system. They are getting away. I'm gonna let this go by. They are getting away with what they're doing time and time again. The police are not held to the same standard. The police are above the law in Connecticut, and that's a fact. And when people act like we don't have a policing problem in Connecticut, we do. Research those numbers. See how many people have been killed by police in Connecticut. It is a long, long list. It's not just 1, 2, 3 people. These are not isolated events. This is not just a couple of towns. It's throughout all of Connecticut. And when we're talking about people in positions of power, I am on the city council in the city of Bridgeport, and you challenge these people. You challenge these people to do more. They hold authority. They choose not to. The chief of police can fire this officer right now today. The state's attorney could have done something, but even if that's what they chose, the mayor and the chief of police do hold the power at any point to make this decision to do that. The city council has the authority to put pressure. But you know why they don't care? Because we don't come out in unity like this. But now they seeing us organizing, they're coming together, and we're gonna keep that pressure. Because Katherine will, she don't deserve, but she will, deserves and will get justice. Because she did absolutely nothing, and even if she did do something, police don't have the right to kill you. Woo! All right, so Mata's gonna come up and just do some short family quotes.
Okay, y'all, so I'm gonna be here reading my family statements. So I'm gonna start off with Maribel, the eldest daughter. Okay, her quote was, I am still devastated with everything that occurred over the last year. No justice, no accountability. How can police kill and get away with another motor vehicle homicide? Next is her son, her eldest son, Nathaniel Colon. He says that, I'm lying, he didn't say anything, y'all. He said that he misses his mother and that this is a tragedy and a loss. Denaya Sawyer quotes, it feels worse knowing that there will be no justice. In the beginning, you're more hopeful to receive justice. Now, after a year, people blame the victim instead of doing what is right and giving her the justice she deserves. I quoted, I feel very disappointed in the judicial system and devastated to go a year without my aunt experiencing the milestones in my life. Marilu says, I feel empty, a piece of my heart is missing, it's unfair. Her mother, Maribel Candelaria, said that she misses her daughter and that her heart feels empty without her. Her youngest niece, Maya Saldana, quotes, there is a hole inside of me without my aunt that no one will ever be able to fill. Her youngest nephew, Robert Saldana, says, I feel annoyed because if it was anybody else, they would be in jail. Finally, her sister, she says, I am lost without my superwoman. And that's everybody's quotes here.
So our last speaker is Dare to Struggle, and talk a little bit about what they do in New Britain, police abusing power. All right, thanks for sticking with us.
Hey everyone, what's up? I'm Mike from Dare to Struggle, Connecticut.
I'm Jesse Matthews from Dare to Struggle, Connecticut, born and raised here in New Britain, 1993.
Woo. So, first things first, Katherine should be alive today, 100%. There's no reason that she should not be here with us. This cop, what's happening is that they put cops up on a pedestal and they're immune from the shit like that they cause, the harm that they cause. And that's not right. In New Britain, for the past year, we've been getting to know the homeless and people on the street here. And the shit they have to go through with the police is insane. There's $99 loitering tickets, $99 panhandling tickets to people with no roof over their head. And it shows that the police aren't here to protect us. They're here to surveil. They're here to attack protests that are calling for justice. And it's just very evident, especially in New Britain, that they're not willing to change their ways. So we need to be the way out. We can't rely on any sort of review boards or the mayor or the politicians who keep lying to us, telling us, oh, we got you, like we hear you, we see you. They're lying to our faces, and we need to be the way out. All right.
All right, my name is Jesse Matthews. Yes, I have a few friends of mine that also dealt with police harassment and brutality on in general. It's not right. It's time for us to rise together and let's stand up and let's team up. Let's go together. The higher the numbers we are, the much stronger we are. So let's come together. What do we want? What do we want? What do we want? What do we need it? NBPD, stop the brutality!
Stop accountability!
NBPD, stop the
Accountability!
NBPD, stop the brutality! Let's go, everybody! All right, who's next?
Alright, I said that that was the last speaker. I was wrong. I got a little bit of pregnant brain. I'm sorry, y'all. So the next speaker is Lily Mercado. She's an organizer, and she's going to talk a little bit about this controversy report.
Hello, my name is Lily Mercado. I'm an activist and organizer here in New Britain. I wanted to speak today about the state attorney's report, which claimed that the state could not pursue criminal charges against Officer Connor Reinsch for the death of Katherine Colon. State Attorney Maureen Platt released this 42-page long report on February 24th. I read through the report, and I want us to get the facts straight here today. I want to break it down and explain how biased and disgustingly hypocritical it is. I want you all to understand how frustrating and rigged the criminal justice system is in our very own city. A year ago today, Officer Connor Reinsch was speeding down West Main Street without his emergency lights or sirens. He was on his way to a level 2 call, so they claimed he did not need the emergency lights and sirens, but going twice the speed limit was certainly in violation of state law and was listed in the report as a contributory factor for Katherine's death. The report states that Katherine Colon was visible from the cruiser for 2 to 3 seconds prior to the impact. They claim that this means she appeared suddenly and out of nowhere, and they cite this as an excuse. What they do not do is consider that Officer Reinsch could have had much more time if he was driving responsibly. It is his fault that Katherine Colon was only visible for 2 to 3 seconds. Even so, I want you to count with me how long 3 seconds is. 0, 1, 2, 3. It's much longer than it sounds. In that time, you should absolutely be able to see somebody in the road in front of you and react accordingly. There are several instances in the report where evidence is used in a biased manner. The same evidence that they use to deny Officer Reinsch's fault is seemingly omitted or twisted when it could be used against him. State Attorney Platt considered 5 types of charges against Officer Reinsch: manslaughter, reckless endangerment, misconduct of motor vehicle, negligent homicide with a motor vehicle, and reckless driving. However, for each of these charges, she claimed there wasn't enough to say that his actions were negligent. For example, she said, quote, "His speed taken alone cannot be said to constitute an extreme indifference to human life, especially given the road conditions, weather, time, and anticipated traffic." This is clearly an omission of key details. His speed was not the only factor. First off, his speed is made more reckless by the fact that there was limited visibility over the hill. They conveniently used this as an excuse earlier, but didn't consider it's more reason for him to have slowed down. Further, his speed was made more reckless by the fact that it was nighttime, which again they conveniently used as an excuse, but didn't consider it here. And most importantly, Officer Reinsch admitted himself that he diverted his attention from the road to look at somebody on the sidewalk who he already knew was there. State Attorney Platt claimed that this was a responsible decision. I'm not sure what reality she's living in, but I don't think anybody should be operating a motor vehicle, let alone a police car in the city of New Britain, if a single pedestrian on the side of the road distracts them long enough to kill somebody. Are you serious? And get this, while I am no lawyer, I can read State Attorney Platt's own report where she contradicts herself. She cites case law that essentially says, even if the victim's own actions could be seen as negligent, that doesn't negate the negligence behind their cause of death. That's to say, even if somebody does something reckless, that does not excuse anybody from killing them. However, she then later claims that several factors of the case do negate the officer's negligence. So not only are they inconsistent in their use of evidence, but they also can't consistently decide how the facts apply to the law. They scrutinized the way that Katherine Colon walked across the street. They said she didn't walk at a 90-degree angle. And that was evidence for why she could be at fault. That's ridiculous. Let's be for real, y'all. We can not only uphold the law for perfect victims. Nobody is perfect. This report is full of contradictions. Replace Katherine Colon with whatever fits better to your personal bias, but the fact is that Connor Reinsch's reckless behavior resulted in somebody dying. Doesn't matter if it was our lovely Katherine Colon, doesn't matter if it was a kid looking at rocks in the road, doesn't matter if it was an elderly person who couldn't see or hear the car coming, doesn't matter if it was anybody else's mother. That man killed somebody, and we are still paying for him with our tax money. Fuck that. It's clear as day he shouldn't be getting away with this. Fire Connor Reinsch and arrest him, and fuck this biased criminal justice system.
Let's give it up for all our speakers. So we're gonna end with some chants. We're gonna end strong and loud. Let's let them know that we were here. They know we were here, period. So what do we want? And when do we want it? Justice for what? If we don't get it, shut it down. If we don't get it, shut it down. Hey, hey, ho-ho, Connor has to go. 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 And be pleading, take accountability. And be pleading, take accountability. And be pleading, take accountability. Say her name, Katherine Colon. Say her name, Katherine Colon. Say her name, Katherine Colon. We won't forget the blood that's on the cruiser. We won't forget the blood that's on the cruiser. We won't forget the blood that's on the cruiser. We won't forget the blood that's on the cruiser. The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. All right. So thank you guys for joining us. We'll definitely be here. Make sure you guys follow us on Instagram at Justice for Katherine Colon. Feel free to message us if you guys are available to do any outreach. We like to talk to our community members. And also if you're getting harassed by the police, feel free to let us know and we can make things happen. So community over police.